If we don't do it once, fine. But we can't make this a pattern.
Greetings, Internet. Welcome to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me at our bedroom.
Ooh.
We're currently in our bed.
Oh.
Anything could eat. Do you know what happens here, honey?
I sure do.
And oop.
Thank you for joining me in our bedroom for our little program here. Okay, so let's get into it.
And oop.
Once bitten. He says bidden.
Yeah, he says once bidden.
Yeah.
Like, I bid you come to me.
or Joe Biden.
Joe
President Joe Biden. But so he says once bitten and twice shy. But now bitten is the correct pronunciation. Bitten is the incorrect pronunciation. Bidden.
Bidden is a completely different word than bitten.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you last night if he's British. And you said yes.
Absolutely.
And I thought he was. Because I expect a British person, even in song, to pronounce it bitten.
Bitten, yes. Yes.
Why he do that?
I'm not sure. But I think, well, like Peyton Fisher is our niece. But oftentimes, her dad or just various Fisher clan will call her Pate for short. But it's more like a D, like Pate. It's not Pate.
Pate sounds like a T.
I think it's a soft D. Pate.
But it's not paid. Like P-A-I-D.
But it's not Pate. It's more like the T is an afterthought. It's a soft D instead of a T. It's a D. But George Michael. I mean, say what you will about the man. Rest in power. Sitting in bathrooms of public parks looking for agreeable fellows.
Oh, did he do that?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear about that controversy.
Oh, yeah. He was caught. But, yeah. I think
this was before Tinder existed, right?
Yes.
Grindr, whatever.
Yes. But I think the soft D, like, bitten is 100% correct. Bitten is 1,000% incorrect. But bidden,
it's not even the same word, though.
Yeah.
It's its own word.
Well, what's bitten? it's not even a word. So bidden is, I deem it acceptable, and I am the police of pronouncing T and important.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Once bitten and twice shy.
Yeah.
Or once bidden and twice shy. They both work.
Right.
They're both nonsensical and they both are fine. Yeah. So maybe he meant to say bidden and it was incorrectly printed in the notes of the tape.
Printing.
You know, in a tape or CD you used to get the lyrics printed. Oh, yeah. Maybe they'd misprinted it and he was like, whatever.
So you think he actually meant to
once bidden
talk about an auction process?
No, bidden means like you want... It also means like, come toward me, come to me, bidden.
I'm bidding.
Not bidding.
I'm bidding for that Star Wars.
It's like a form of the word bide or abide.
And oop.
So you and Cinnamon Rolls had quite the trial and tribulation last weekend. So what's happening is that you're going to come to my work and bring some baked goods. It's mostly to meet Joe Kuntz and Pao Lee, which I completely understand. My two favorite podcasters.
There's many layers to this.
Yes.
Number one, I've been hearing tales about these guys that you've worked with for a year and a half. And they sound like delightful, colorful characters.
Every evening I come home with the tea, with the hot goss. And it's a comedy. It's literally a comedy that my job entails. The people and the characters. and just the follies that ensue, and it's quite entertaining on your end, right, honey?
Oh, yeah.
You love it.
I do. I love it.
You can't get enough.
So I really want to meet these guys you've been working with. That's one layer. The second layer is my biggest dream of life is to be a domestic goddess / housewife extraordinaire. Yeah. So I'm off the entire week of Christmas.
Yes.
And you work the entire week of Christmas, practically.
Correct.
So I'm home. I thought, hey, I'll bake a bunch of goodies, a bunch of baked goods, and bring them to your work.
Yeah.
And I'll be a wifey extraordinaire.
Yeah. And I would love that. You came to Platt Electric Supply, where I used to work.
Why did I come?
I'm not sure.
I remember coming inside, and you gave me a quick little tour.
You had the kids. Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
No? Yes?
You did.
No.
Should we go ask Lennox right now?
And oop.
Hi. Come here. I bid you come forward. See?
Once bitten.
Do you remember when Vince worked at that big warehouse with like a bunch of wires?
Platt?
Yeah. Did you and Luna come with me to Platt to visit Vince one time? Okay. And we got a little tour.
I think, yeah.
Something. I showed him a few of the like cool machines.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. You just have bad memory because you're old.
All right.
I love you, son.
Our next guest needs no introduction. All right, Lennox. Well, thanks for coming on.
Bye,
Do you have anything
boy.
you want to plug?
Shut the door.
Tell the people what you have going on in your life.
What's your Twitch stream?
I don't know. And oop.
Yeah. So this time, you're not going to bring the kids. Well, I mean, you could.
I could, but I decided nah.
Yeah, and Platt had cool, like, it's cool. It's a cool warehouse. My current job is not a cool warehouse. There isn't cool machinery and kind of fascinating stuff to look at.
I don't think I'm going to hang out. I think I'm going to say hi and get introduced to whoever's there, and then I'll just leave the goodies for you guys.
Yeah. And when you come in, I was planning on yelling out, "This is who I'm sleeping with. This is my wife, Steve."
And then I do a little curtsy.
Steve, your wife has nothing on mine. Am I right, Steve? I made up that name. But there's some wives, let's just say.
You've seen photos?
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of which, why do people have pictures of them and them wives on their desk from like 30 years ago, dude?
Is that the only picture you've seen of your boss's wife? Is that a really old picture he has?
Yeah. Well, it's not my boss, but it's a coworker.
Oh, okay.
And he looks like, if you showed me that picture right now for the first time, I'd be like, who is that? So I'm like, this was taken 20 to 30 years ago. And I like, who is that? And why don't you have something more current is my bigger question. And I know why you don't have something more current, because you're not as good looking, or listen, we all age. I get it. But maybe, like, let's set a rule. Like, on your desk, you should have a picture of something within the past 10 years.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair. That's a good rule.
Yeah.
I was thinking today, because I have a couple of pictures of you and I, and we haven't been together too long, so...
Yes. Our love is new.
Yeah. But the pictures I have two of you and I on my desk. They're 3 years old. Mm-hmm. But one is in a frame, and yet I somehow hung it into my corkboard cubicle wall with like a little pokey, what are those called? Push pin?
Thumbtacks.
Thumbtack push pin.
Yeah.
It was very difficult. Mm. And I don't know if I could ever take it down and put it back up again. I don't know if I'm capable of that.
Okay.
So I was thinking I'd like to replace that picture, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. So I might just leave it up there forever.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe some people just get lazy.
Yeah.
Because who prints out pictures anymore? It's very rare.
Yeah.
So who wants to print out a new picture, bring it in, put it in a frame? Who's going to... Especially these guys you work with. That's not priority for them.
I would. I would.
You have.
We print out pictures. Again, our love is new.
Yes.
It's not a decade old yet, honey. 3 years down, 4 years down?
4 years down.
4 years down.
4 years down this month.
4 years down. Forever to go.
A lifetime to go.
Eternity to go. But, well, in 6 years or 6 or 7 years or so, I would put an updated picture. Because I realize we're aging, but in that... The 4 years ago was my peak or whatever. Or this was Steve's peak.
Did you and I start dating at our peak, honey? It's possible.
I think everyone does on some level, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have bangs now. We need an updated picture.
Yeah. And I don't have a desk, but I did have a desk. I've had a desk. And we're new. Our love is new. It's still fire. It's still hot. But people who have them and their spouses from 20 to 30-ish years ago, I need something different. You're living in the past, man.
I think keeping an old picture there is cute, but you got to have an updated one as well.
Yeah.
Because, are you still together? We need to know. Everyone else needs to know.
Well, that's just sad that they're keeping their spouse from 40 years ago.
Do you still like each other?
Well, I think you should have each, once a decade, take a picture, put it on your desk, and then be like, hey, this is me 40 years ago, and this is us current. And because I feel like betrayed or deceived or misled. Like, this is not you, Steve. I see you, Steve, every day, and the person in this picture is not you. Another thing about Steve, and yes, I'm making that name up. He wears the glasses with tint on them. I always found that look very unattractive on men. Like, you're wearing sunglasses, but they're reading glasses at the same time.
Are they
and they're hiding your eyes, and I just feel that's just not a good look for guys.
Are they those prescription glasses that when you go outside they're supposed to shade, but then they take forever to go clear when you come back inside? Mm-hmm. Is that it?
That I'm not sure, because, well, I'm not sure. We don't go outside. Me and Steve don't go outside. We stay in the doldrums.
Why is he wearing tinted glasses inside?
Exactly. Because it's a bad look, and because he stopped caring 30 years ago, which is why he has a picture from 30 years ago on his desk.
Does he look good in that old picture?
He looks good for the time in the 80s or whatever. It's a good 80s picture. Him and his wife, vivacious. Full of life. Which we all were in the 80s, honey.
Full of hope for the future.
Full of hope and promise. and then life drags you down. It takes you down. So cinnamon rolls.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. I made cinnamon rolls.
Yes. So you want to bring in cinnamon rolls and some other baked goodies, right?
Well,
we have in our cupboard, we have many mixes and powders.
You bought, because I told you I want chocolate chip muffin mix.
Yes.
And you, darling husband that you are,
yes,
bought me a ton of chocolate chip cookie mixes.
Yes.
Because you were trying to get muffin, but you got it wrong.
Right. And I was like, well, if we have some chocolate chip cookies around the house, that's not so bad.
So we have tons of cookie mix that needs to get used.
We got pecan brittle. We got some sort of crumble I bought. And these are all like Dollar Tree, 99-cent store, so it's not a ton of dough.
Yeah, but we've eaten them before, so we know that they're good.
Yeah. Most
of them, at least.
Yeah.
Cinnamon rolls, I wanted to make. I took it upon myself to say, this is what I'm bringing to your work.
Yeah. Because
cinnamon rolls they're the ultimate Christmas treat to me. They're super Christmassy.
Yes.
I guess because my mom always made them every Christmas season growing up. So I associate that with Christmas. And they just seem decadent and rare, especially a homemade cinnamon roll.
Because the frosting, it's like oozing and...
You don't get that very often.
Lurching everywhere.
cookies are a dime a dozen.
Yes,
but you don't
absolutely.
experience a delicious homemade cinnamon roll that often.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a test run.
Yeah.
Because I'm making them from scratch, and I've never done that before.
Yes. Okay. So my question is, why did you decide to make them from scratch? Because when I think cinnamon roll, I think the Pillsbury little can that you pop open and it starts it starts expanding right away. Throw them in the oven, and then boom, you got cinnamon rolls with some frosting. Why? Because last weekend you made dough from scratch.
Oh yeah.
Which is what the crux of the issue here.
And
why did
I was making the dough from scratch, you're like, honey, stop yelling.
Right.
Stop being so angry, because I was getting a bit aggravated with that dough.
Right. Well, before that, but why did you decide to do from scratch dough instead of just the Pillsbury cardboard loaf?
Because from scratch is 1,000 times better.
Okay.
I've made the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls just for the kids.
Yeah.
A few times here and there. It's not great.
Okay.
So I want a real, true cinnamon roll.
Okay.
You and your boys at work deserve it.
We do.
And I'm here to bring that to you.
We do. Me and Pauli and Joe Kuntz, who won't be back till early January.
Oh, I'm devastated. Joe Kuntz is out unexpectedly, and he's
know.
not going to get my cinnamon rolls.
I know. Although, if we arrange the photo shoot...
he's not coming in for a photo shoot. But maybe in the future, sometime I'll get to meet him.
Okay. So, you made cinnamon rolls from raw dough.
Yeah.
Now, you're not afraid of raw dough, because you've made... Liz Fisher's grandma's buns.
I've made homemade rolls. I've made pizza dough.
Yeah.
I'm not a great baker. I'm not an expert, but I'm not afraid to tackle it either.
Yeah.
I'll take it on.
Yeah.
So I did, it was like flour, yeast. I already forget what else was in it. Butter.
There's a lot of science
sugar.
happening.
So I made the dough.
Yeah.
And then you have to put the dough on the counter and you have to knead it.
Yes.
Knead.
I've watched a lot of Food Network, honey. I know what's going down. Yes.
And that dough was sticky as heck.
Right.
And I was getting so nervous. And I was like, is this correct?
Well, you started, because it was cold. It's winter in Sacramento / West Sacramento, where we are. But so it's in the 50s. It's temperature. And so you were like, and we had a window open for whatever reason. And you were like, well, should we close the window? Because obviously the temperature affects the dough.
Yeah.
And its ability to rise.
Yeah,
right?
I had to knead it, and then I had to put it back in the bowl and let it rise.
Yeah.
And it wasn't rising.
Right.
And it's because it was freezing in here.
So you closed the windows. Did you turn on the heater? The oven was preheating.
The oven was, I did turn on the heater,
there was a lot of things happening.
Anyway, the dough didn't really quite rise, but I was like, whatever, we're going forward.
Yeah.
And so I just continued on. Rolled it out, put the cinnamon mixture inside, rolled it up, cut it into pieces.
What were your hopes? Because you were very frustrated at the process. Were you not?
Yes.
You were aggravated. You lashed out at our Google Home speaker. And I was like, honey, you need to chill. Because, well, in the end, you can get some Pillsbury dough cinnamon rolls, some subpar.
I was worried that the dough, it was so sticky. I was worried that it wouldn't be amenable. Is that the word?
That's what he said? Yes.
Yeah. So I was worried I wasn't going to be able to roll it out. Because you have to roll it out into like a oval-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, like a rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put your cinnamon stuff, and then you roll it up, and then you cut it into little pieces.
Yeah.
But, you know what? It worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I put it in the oven, and then they turned out amazing.
Yeah. The kids, well, I ate one, because I was sort of on track, or getting back on track.
I ate one as well.
Okay. And then the kids, destroyed it. I think it took a day. Like, they had some, and then by Monday it was gone.
I think that day they each had two. They went wild, and it was really heartwarming.
Yeah.
They both kept saying thank you, this is amazing, this is so good, thank you. Lennox gave me a hug.
What?
He said, thank you for making these, Mommy.
He took a break from Fortnite to give you a hug for 6 seconds? Wow.
It was really gratifying.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did the test run because now I won't freak out the day of.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then I brought up should we ask, well, Joe Kuntz is no longer a factor, but I said, well, should we ask Joe Kuntz if he likes pralines in his cinnamon rolls or walnuts or pecans? And you were like,
because they were really basic. They were just
having any of it.
They were just straight cinnamon sugar rolls with icing.
Right.
And I asked you for your feedback afterwards, and you said, well, maybe should you fancy it up, put some nuts in it or something?
Yeah.
And I said, when you're feeding a big group of people, I think it's safer to go the most simple, most basic.
You want to appeal to the most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just keep it basic. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I thought they were great. But like with any cinnamon roll, like if you could cut the dough down by half, because the frosting is really good. And then there's always just a little too much just bread or dough.
Nah.
No?
I thought they were perfect.
Okay. Well, we're all different.
We all have different taste buds.
We all have different taste buds. We're all friends here. We all have personal preferences. We're all people.
And oop.
Okay. So our number one listener who doesn't have the last name Lewis or Fisher, his name is Kevin Juran. It's spelled with an A, Juran. So I don't know, is it Jurin? Anyways, he suggested we do like a pie taste test.
Oh.
And so a few weeks ago, I was at Walmart and I was like, all right, we're going to get this pie taste test underway. And I was by myself. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to buy some pies, and we're going to make this happen. So I bought, an apple pie. I bought a pecan pie. Now with those two, I bought like the personal serving. It's 2 for $1. They're 50 cents each. The tiny version pie, apple pecan, and then I bought. They had a couple slices of cheesecake for like $2 in the chilled section. This is all at Walmart, and then I bought a pumpkin pie, an entire pumpkin pie, because they didn't have the smaller version. And I went to where they have like the discount, like they put the orange sticker on there. Like this is normally $5.99, but this is $3.49, and you're saving $2.50. And you like that section, right?
I love it.
My mom loves it.
Yeah.
She calls it her deal.
Because it's great because a lot of the items are canned soups, canned beans, or whatever, and they're
dented.
They're very dented.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So you get like $1 off a dented can of beans.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Being in Ralph's in Southern California, in San Diego, and my mom saying, "Oh, let's go to my section." And I was like, "What's your section?" And I followed her to the back, because usually they have it a couple like racks in the back that with dented stuff or damaged stuff or about to expire stuff with either pink or orange stickers all over it, indicating the new price and how much the discount is. So that's where I got the pumpkin pie, or as rappers call it, the pumpkin pie, honey. And it was like $2.50 off. So it was normally $6, and it was what's $2.50? $3.50? Yeah, $3.50. So it was around $3.50.
And it was indeed expired.
Yes.
I believe this was the weekend after Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Yes. So I got apple, pumpkin, cheesecake, and pecan. Now, is cheesecake a pie? You feel passionately about this?
Absolutely not. A cheesecake, as the name suggests, is a cake.
Yes.
Where do you get off thinking it's a pie?
Okay, so this is borderline. Does pineapple belong on pizza debate, which I will not engage in on the internet. It does not belong on a pizza pie. But let me throw this dough into the oven and see if it rises.
Okay.
it has cake in its name. Okay. But Chevron is not owned by someone named Ron, first of all. Okay.
You're off to a strong start.
Cake. Let me just give you like my thought process.
Okay.
Cake. Birthday cake. Wedding cake. We had a cake at our wedding. Celebratory event. Pie. More holiday. Tradition. Thanksgiving. Pie. Christmas pie. There's pie at a holiday. Cake is more a celebratory event. Do people have cheesecake at a celebratory event, at a birthday? No.
People have cheesecake at neither holiday or celebratory events.
Disagree. When do people have cheesecake then?
Randomly.
Well,
at the Cheesecake Factory.
In my life, with my mom, Grandma Tian, she makes cheesecake on Thanksgiving and or Christmas.
Okay.
Well, if you were to insert cheesecake into a birthday or a holiday, what would it be? Could you see cheesecake at a wedding? I don't think so.
Absolutely not, but I do see it at a birthday. You know what? I think cheesecake is cheesecake doesn't really fall in the traditional cake category.
Yes.
Nor does it fall in the pie. It's kind of its own thing.
Right. But if you were to, if you had to place it in one.
I don't have to.
I'm not going to even ask a question. If you place it into the pie category, holiday, tradition, instead of celebratory.
I have to say
event.
It's a cake over a pie, even though I don't want to really say it's either. It is pie-like. It is pie. It's pie adjacent.
Okay. So.
So it's kind of its own thing, like some sort of berry cobbler.
Right.
Is neither, but it's still.
But if you had to put berry cobbler on a, would you serve berry cobbler on a birthday? The kids would go mad.
Absolutely.
They'd start throwing the lit candles against the wall, and then your house would burn down. Get out of town, honey. No. Berry cobbler, holiday, tradition.
Nah, you don't want a berry
family
cobbler
gathering
at your holiday.
You want a berry cobbler at your birthday party?
I've had a berry cobbler at a family member's birthday.
Well, and was it lit? Was it fun?
Absolutely.
Was it the worst birthday ever? Anyways, so I bought these 4 pies / cake, and then brought them home, and they were sitting on the counter.
Getting more and more expired.
Yes.
By the moment.
The pumpkin pie expired the next day, and then it was the day after that. Well, I was like, okay, I'm going to eat these, or we're going to eat these. And for whatever reason, at that point in the weekend, you were like, I've had enough of everything. Did we go to your parents that weekend or
we had Thanksgiving at my brother's house.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was I had eaten so much food over the last couple days.
Yeah.
And you had these pies laid out. And
right.
I said, I cannot.
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You're on your own here.
Yeah. Side note, Brent's house, your brother Brent, there was a bunch of food going on, and then they had stuffing. And I think Lisa, his wife, Aunt Lisa, someone asked, what kind of stuffing is it? And she's like, it's the most basic stuffing, straight from the box. And I was like, sign me up.
I know. I love the box stuffing.
Right.
It's so good.
Get out of here with your gizzards and your celery stuffing and your cranberry stuffing. Once Lisa said it's straight, plain, regular old stuffing from the box, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I dug in. I had a couple spoonfuls.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Anyways. Okay. So the rankings, Kevin Duran / Geron of the pies. Okay, I'll start at number 4. Number 4, pumpkin. It's just. Did you have any whipped cream a la mode? No, But I realize whipped cream improves pumpkin pie. But just like with gravy, you got to be able to stand on your own. Oh, that stuffing is good with gravy. Oh, those mashed potatoes are good with gravy. Oh, the turkey is good with gravy. No.
Yeah.
You got to be able to hold your own. Pumpkin pie, it's fine, but it pales in comparison to the other three. Next, number 3 is apple pie. Classic Americana. I mean, I wish I had it microwaved with a scoop of vanilla.
You ate it cold out of the box?
Yes.
Well.
I'm a real man. I'm an animal, honey. I'm a savage. But it's fine. But it's better than pumpkin pie. Number 2. Now, see, once I reveal number 2, so to remind everyone, cheesecake and pecan are left. Once I pick number 2, you will instantly know what number 1 is. So it's like the Miss American pageant where there's 2 contestants left.
Yeah.
And then they go, first runner-up, Miss Rhode Island. And then you know Miss Nevada won. So automatically all the attention goes from Miss Rhode Island to, and that means the winner is, and it's like, what about Miss Rhode Island? Is she? Okay. So once I announce number 2, you will instantly know who number 1 is. I don't know. I've just been thinking about that. Miss Rhode Island.
Do you want to give number 2 some time to shine? Do you want to explain your feelings about number 2?
Yes.
Go on.
Thank you. Number 2 is cheesecake, which makes number 1 pecan. Cheesecake is good, but it's the savoriness that kind of throws it for a loop. Because it's cheese. And cheese is savory. But there's a sweet element with the graham cracker crust. And then the slices I bought, one of them had like a strawberry drizzle on it, which is fantastic. But pecan wins for me. It's got the nuttiness of the pecan, the crunch of the pecan, whatever it is, stuff, goo. And then it has pie crust. So I think pecan all day, every day. You didn't eat, honey.
I didn't eat any of these.
You were overstuffed, but
I can tell you right away that I love apple pie and I love cheesecake. But perhaps these 4 particular ones swayed your voting.
Well,
or not.
I could have bought 20 different pies, honey. I wanted to buy sweet potato pie because of the Domino song from the 80s.
Nope.
That was the old school cut.
I got nothing for you there.
He was the guy who sang Ghetto Jam. Do you remember that song?
Sing it.
The Ghetto Jam is about to slam.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I bought both those cassette singles at the warehouse, honey. Okay. Patti LaBelle, the singer, ever hear?
I know her.
She has her own pie deal. And one of them is a sweet potato pie. Well, I realize sweet potato pie is gaining in notoriety, but in the end, not a lot of people are eating it.
I'm curious about America. It. I imagine it's very similar to pumpkin, but I am curious. Yeah, I've never had it either. I'm really curious about it.
They had it at Walmart, but I think it's more of a down south thing. And I'm not. I can't buy 60 different pies, okay? So I decided on these 4. I also wanted lemon pie. I have a fond place for strawberry pie, but again, I can't buy 16 different pies.
Well, you did good, honey.
Thank you. But you've had pecan and cheese.
I've had all of these. I love cheesecake. It's one of my favorite desserts.
Yeah.
I like it with the cherry pie, the cherry pie filling stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
So you get whole cherries, and then you get the cherry.
Oh yeah, the
syrup.
compote. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I love apple pie. Those 2 are my favorites. I think I would have had I think pecan would have been my 4th. Pumpkin 3rd.
Yeah.
Apple and then cheesecake number 1. That's my prediction.
That's the wrong opinion.
We all have different taste buds.
Have you ever made cheesecake or
no?
Did Liz Fisher? Because my mom makes a mean cheesecake.
Has she ever made it for me?
No. She hasn't made it for me in 5 years, 10 years. But I remember distinctly, I think she just follows the recipe on Philadelphia cream cheese.
And I'm sure it's fantastic.
It's an excellent cream cheesecake, but I remember one time she baked it, and we had company overs, and she, well, listen, when you're cooking a meal for a bunch of people and it's a holiday, she got the timing off. And to where it was like the cheesecake was done when we were done with regular dinner. And so we were like, well, let's just eat the cheesecake because it's done. But it needs, what you don't know, or what you may know, or what you don't realize with cheesecake is it needs to cool and sit in the fridge and congeal and harden.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And get that thick crust. Because when you throw it in the oven, it just bakes. But when it comes out, it's still soft.
Yeah, so it has to set.
Right.
And you don't eat it warm ever.
Well, we did in this particular instance. And this only happened once before then. And since then, my mom has always made the bomb-ass cheesecake. But in this particular time, just time constraints or whatever, we ate cheesecake hot, fresh out of the oven. And it was very like moussey or a flanny, just very soft.
Was it good still? Like, was the flavor good?
Profile was okay.
It sounds like a pudding, maybe.
Yeah,
a hot pudding.
It was like a mousse, It wasn't good, and you realize how much texture matters when it comes to cheesecake.
Definitely,
texture is super important. It's got to have the rich thickness. But that was only once, and my mom has always knocked it out of the park with cheesecake since then.
And oop.
Okay, so Kevin Jurin/Juron, our number one listener who doesn't have the last name Fisher or Lewis. Pecan is number 1. This is my personal ranking. We're all different. We're all friends here. It doesn't matter. And no one cares. Cheesecake is number 2. Pumpkin is number 3. No, pumpkin is number 4. Apple's number 3. I'm sorry, I wrote this wrong here. Alrighty. Well, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for NatureBox. We don't have a promo code for NatureBox. By the way, have you ever subscribed to a snack subscription service, honey?
No.
I have. And you realize, like, they send you snacks once a month. And you're like, I realize, why am I waiting a month for snacks? And if I want more snacks, there's no way to get more snacks. You have to order them through a website. And it's just snacks. So why am I paying a monthly subscription for snacks? I always like the word snacks.
You say it a lot.
It's got the S, the S, and then the K, the hard K. Snacks. It's a good word, snacks. Goodbye. I love you. We love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have said my mom botched baking a cheesecake one time. By the way, only one time. But you like the cherry compote?
I do.
See, I don't. Because to me, it ends up overpowering the cheesecake. We talked about strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
Where, my mom, this is my experience, she would buy the angel food cake, and then you throw some whipped cream on there, and then you throw some strawberries on top. I always thought there was too many strawberries. Like, I didn't want diced strawberries. I wanted, like, finely diced. Or I didn't want, like, slices of strawberries. I want finely diced strawberries. Because I feel like the strawberries just overpower the angel food cake and the whipped cream.
Well, I guess it depends on your preference. I'm a fruit girl.
Yeah.
I'm a fruity girl.
Yeah.
I like my fruit. But the angel food cake is terrible. It's so spongy and dense. I don't like it at all.
No.
So I definitely want more whipped cream and strawberries.
It's the bomb.
It's horrible.
It's the Twinkie without the goo, the whipped cream in the middle. But then you throw the whipped cream on the angel food cake. Is so good.
No.
Angel food cake with whipped cream and maybe a few chiffons of strawberry. But you like a cheesecake with cherries on top with the compote with
Absolutely.
the syrup. See, the slices I bought at Walmart had there was red on top. It was a strawberry syrup that they drizzled. That was the perfect amount of sweetness to go with the savoriness.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Wow, we're all different. How can we make it, honey? How can our love endure? 4 years to go.
4 years down.
Eternity to go. And sure, I may have said my mom botched baking a cheesecake one time, but I'm still a good person and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. We hope you have a wonderful day/night. Bye-bye.
And oop.
We got chicken.
Is that crispy, juicy, tender?